Well, London's position in the global economy is very good indeed. Many people regard London as the global city. The challenge, of course, is to make sure London's positioned for the future opportunities, as well as addressing any near-term challenges. And maybe London's biggest near-term challenge is because it's so popular, its population is rising rapidly. Not just because of more people being born, not just because of more people living longer, but because of migration flows, both from the rest of the United Kingdom and from the rest of the world. So businesses and people are coming to London. So the real challenge is scale. And because London's popular, more people are coming, more businesses coming, and that adds to pressure on existing services, existing infrastructure. Well, growing population can be a dividend if you plan for it. Of course, as we've seen in some other countries, if they don't plan for it, then their population growth can be a disaster. From a London perspective, we view the population growth as a population dividend. And how can we plan for it? Well, London has an infrastructure plan. The Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, does a lot of strategic reports to focus on not only near-term issues, but the longer-term opportunities. And one of the big issues is the whole infrastructure plan for London up to 2050. The London infrastructure plan for 2050 envisages just over £1.3 trillion of infrastructure spending. It could be as high as 1.7 trillion. One of the key focuses of that is building more homes, another 1.5 million homes, but also a key focus is having transport infrastructure. Not only current Crossrail, but Crossrail to a new airport to the east of London, greater connectivity, road, rail, and also cycling. So in a nutshell, the way to address it is to look at the infrastructure needs. One additional point is the digital revolution. London has a whole fintech revolution at the moment, but still has to invest more in future digital opportunities. Well, obviously, the referendum debate has yet to fully take place. I did a report last year for the Mayor of London saying that the best scenario for Britain would be to be in a reformed European Union, but that if the European Union does not reform, then it would be better for Britain to leave, to have good relationships with the EU, and to have a global perspective. But the ideal scenario is to be in a reformed EU. But coming back to your question, if the UK were to vote to leave, then in economic terms there might be some initial near-term shock. But it would be like the letter V or like a tick. The near-term movement might be down, but then the economy in London and the UK would quickly recover, and we would have the upward stroke of the V or the upward stroke of the tick, depending on how far ahead you go. The point being that naturally there would be some uncertainty, but the key issue is for London, the UK and the European Union to position themselves in a changing and growing global economy, hence the focus from the UK perspective on the need for the European Union to reform. Well, the economic forecast for London should be okay. London is heavily tied into the UK economy, but when one looks at the world economy, it is a multi-speed global economy. China and emerging economies are losing some momentum. America is growing strongly. The Eurozone is off the floor, shall we say. London and the UK are closer to the US in terms of performance. But I think even though one should be cautious about aspects of the near-term outlook, I think one should be positive about the longer term. Whichever economy one looks at, the outcome depends on the interaction between the fundamentals, policy and confidence. And from a UK and London perspective, the fundamentals look good. Policy has been heavily geared to low interest rates, so we have the adjustment as interest rates rise. And confidence, very difficult to predict, but I think people should be confident both about the outlook for the UK and for the London economies.